After dreaming about his death in his old world, Hiraku woke up. In spirit form, he met the mysterious figure who watched over the world. The mysterious figure told him that Hiraku had lived 39 years, but his fate had been harsh because first others betrayed him, and then he got an illness that could not be cured. The mysterious figure showed pity for him, called his last life very painful, and decided to give him a second chance. The mysterious figure promised him a healthy body that would not get sick, then asked about his wish. Hiraku said he wanted to do farming. While he stayed in the hospital, he watched a program about farming, and since he was not good at mixing with people, he wanted to farm in a place where no one was near. The mysterious figure said farming was not his area, then called the mysterious figureess of agriculture, took permission, and gave Hiraku the power of the almighty farming tool. After that, Hiraku opened his eyes in a forest. He was happy that now his body was healthy and he could move freely. He started his farming life there and began to test the almighty farming tool. The tool appeared in his hand, changed into different shapes and tools, and did not let him feel tired while working. He dug the soil. The soil felt soft, and he thought good vegetables could grow here. Then he thought that before farming, water and food were necessary. He made a big tree, his sign and temporary camp, looked around for a river, but found no water source. Then he changed the tool into a shovel and dug the ground, and soon got underground water. He prepared the land around the big tree, but found nothing to eat. He saw a small tree blocking the way, so he changed the almighty farming tool into an axe and cut it down with one hit. Then he changed the tool into a hatchet and made wood pieces. He cut more trees and tried to make a hut, but while thinking about the design and things needed, he lost track of time. When he noticed, it was already dark. He changed the tool into a magnifying glass to make fire, but the sun had set. Because this tool could not change into complex machines, he could not make a lamp or flashlight. To spend the night, he carved a hollow space in the big tree and hid inside it. During this, he also made some plates and cups. When he saw two moons at night, he understood that he had come to another world. The next morning, Hiraku again started clearing land and cutting trees. When he thought about food, a big monster rabbit attacked him. Hiraku killed it with one hit from the farming tool. He ate it, then dug a big hole to make a toilet. He made an entry path, a separate hole for gas to go out, and a tree trunk for sitting. Because he did not feel safe in the open, he also made a small cabin around the toilet for privacy. After that, he prepared the land for farming, but when the work finished, he remembered he did not have any seeds. The next morning, he was surprised to see that plants had already started to grow. He had not planted any seeds, so he thought this was the power of the almighty farming tool. He was happy that something was growing, but he also worried that maybe these were just flowers and not food. To protect the field from rabbits and other animals, he made a wall, a ditch, and a fence around the farming area. This work took a few days. During this time, wild rabbits again and again tried to eat the plants, but Hiraku kept killing them and survived on rabbit meat. He gave water to the plants every day, and the plants grew very fast. Then Hiraku started to build a hut. It was hard for him to carry wood, so he dug the ground inside to make the space lower and get more height. After many more days of work, he managed to make a small log house. One day, he saw two very big dogs outside the house. They looked tough and a bit dangerous, but they did not act like enemies and seemed hurt. Hiraku let them come in and gave them food from the wild boar meat he had killed before. He saw that one of them had a big belly. Then he understood that the female dog was pregnant. After eating, she started to feel pain, and Hiraku understood that the puppies were coming. He brought both dogs inside the house. He did not know how to help with birth, so he left them in the house and slept in the hollow part of the tree for the night, thinking they would like to be alone. In the morning, when he came back, the female dog had given birth to 4 puppies. Hiraku was happy that all the puppies were safe and gave more meat to the dogs in his happiness. He thought they would leave now, but they decided to stay. Because they liked his hut, Hiraku decided to make a new house for himself. After a few more days, the plants in his field grew more and became tasty tomatoes. Hiraku ate them, and the dogs started to help him. They hunted and also watched over the vegetable field and the area around it, and the female Yuki. Then he named the 4 puppies Kuroichi, Kuroni, Kurosun, and Kuroin. Hiraku made plans to build a storehouse, grow more vegetables, and do many other things. At the same time, somewhere else, a girl wanted to cross the mountain, but a man warned her that it was dangerous to go to the other side because the area was known as the Forest of Death and was full of monsters. The mysterious figure remembered Hiraku's condition and felt sorry that he had given him such a hard life before, so he decided to watch his new life. When he looked at him, he realized another mistake, that he had sent Hiraku to the very dangerous Forest of Death. For a moment, he thought about bringing him back right away, but then he remembered that it was against the rules to interfere again in a life he had already given, so he could do nothing and only watched. On the other hand, Hiraku was in a better state than expected. In the next days, he understood that if he imagined any plant in his mind, that plant would start to grow by magic. The almighty farming tool made crops grow very fast. and Hiraku stayed satisfied with his new life. He thought that this was all possible because of the kindness of those mysterious figures who gave him this chance. So he made statues of both mysterious figures to show thanks and respect. After that, Hiraku tried to grow fruits to make his food better. While they grew, he often spent time with Kuro and Yuki. At this time, he clearly felt that if these two were not with him, the loneliness would be too much. These two dogs helped him go far into the forest, and also helped him return to his camp. With their help, he finally reached a river. After seeing the river, he decided to make a tunnel to bring water to his living place. He changed the almighty farming tool into a wheelbarrow, which made carrying and moving things easy and did not make him tired. At the same time, he grew his field and added more vegetables. He also grew soybeans and thought about eating them, but he realized he did not have salt. After many days, the weather started to get cold. When he saw snow on the mountains, Hiraku tried to guess how cold it would get, and he started to prepare for winter. He collected food and wood. He tried to use wild animal skins for warmth, but they smelled too much, so he stopped using them. Then one day, a very big spider appeared in front of him. At first, it looked like a strange thing, but the spider was friendly and showed amazing work with its web. It made cloth, prepared clothes, and even made a handkerchief. Hiraku included it in his village, named it Zabuton, and in return, gave it animal skins. Zabuton started to live in the big tree, liked to eat potatoes, and made many useful things for the house along with clothes for Hiraku. After getting cloth, Hiraku felt his life was more organized and civilized than before. Then winter started, and Hiraku was fully ready for the cold days. Zabuton stopped coming down from the tree, so Hiraku guessed it had gone into hibernation. The cold days were mostly fine, but Hiraku kept feeling something missing because there was no human to talk to. When spring came, Kuro and Yuki's children, who had grown up by now, left for a while, but soon came back with their own partners. Zabuton also appeared again after winter, and had its children with it. Now, because there were more eaters, Hiraku decided to grow his field again. One day, while he was working in the field, Zabuton gave a danger signal. Kuro quickly took him to the forest. There, Hiraku saw a small girl caught in a spider web without clothes. The dogs and spiders stood near her carefully and did not trust her. The girl asked for help, so Hiraku went near her, but as soon as he came close, she suddenly bit his neck. After drinking his blood, her body changed into a young woman, but the dogs quickly attacked her because they thought she attacked Hiraku. During their attack, she shrank again into a small girl form. Hiraku first tried to understand if she was an enemy or not, then the girl apologized and said she was not an enemy. She explained that to get her power back, she needed to drink blood, and because she had used too much energy, she could not keep her adult form and clothes. She also explained that she tried to take a dog with her. That was why the dogs attacked her. Hiraku felt sorry for her and let her drink more blood so she could get better. After that, he brought her to his place. The girl was surprised to see Hiraku's place because seeing real fields and so many vegetables inside the forest of death was strange for her. Hiraku gave her a tomato, and she liked it. Then she showed interest in his other crops too. In the evening, she said her name was Rue and told him she was a vampire. Rue said she was doing research on medicinal plants, and some nobles tried to steal her research, so there was a fight. Because those people kept chasing her, and she already knew about this forest, she came here to hide for some time. She also wanted to see new plants in the forest. She was also surprised that Hiraku was living in such a dangerous forest, keeping wild animals with him, and using such strange magic power to make different tools. For Hiraku, this was his first contact with a human after a long time, and he felt that this chance was very important. He told Rue to start living with him because he could not bear to be alone for much longer. Rue tried to explain that dangerous people were after her and that she was a vampire, but Hiraku did not care about these things. Rue felt embarrassed by his words and took it as a kind of proposal, but when Hiraku seriously asked her again to stay with him, she agreed and decided to live there. The next morning, Rue looked younger. Hiraku wanted to know why, so Rue said that in this form she could control herself and would avoid touching him. Hiraku said he wanted to grow sweet potatoes as the next crop and started calling Rue the first resident of his village. But after Kuro's reaction, he corrected himself and said Rue should be counted closer to the 30th resident. But Hiraku told her he did not need seeds. After Rue started living with Hiraku, his life became much better than before. Rue used her magic to make light in the toilet and other places, which made daily work much easier for Hiraku. Hiraku told her that he'd almost given up hope of finding salt, so Rue explained that most salt was in a layer of the ground, and she was surprised that even after so much digging, Hiraku had not noticed it. After that, Hiraku looked at his fruit garden, but he realized that fruits took more time than vegetables, so he would have to wait. At this time, Zabuton Zabuton gave a danger signal. Hiraku and Ru quickly went to the forest, and there they saw another girl who was caught by spiders and dogs. She was tied up and asked Hiraku for help. Hiraku freed her, and as soon as she was free, she used magic on herself and healed herself. Then she saw Ru and understood that Ru was hiding in the forest. She quickly tried to catch Ru, but the dogs attacked her again. Hiraku managed the situation and brought both girls back to his place. Ru told Hiraku that the two girls' problems were connected, and also said that the dogs were very tough and magic did not work well on them because they escaped from attacks. The girl asked about Hiraku, and Ru, feeling embarrassed, called him her husband. Then the girl said her name was Tia and said she was an angel. Hiraku first thought maybe she served the mysterious figure, but Ru explained that angels were a warrior race. Then Hiraku asked why Tia was chasing Ru. Tia said there was a bounty on Ru because she caused trouble in the city while doing research on strange medicines and mixtures. Whenever something went wrong during her research, explosions happened, and after that, nobles put a reward on her head. Ru first said it was not on purpose, then also agreed that the problem became too big. She also said that Tia was stronger than her. That was why she ran into the forest. Tia was surprised that Ru admitted her weakness, but Ru explained that after facing Hiraku's dogs, she understood her own limit. After that, Ru told Tia to start living with them too. Tia hesitated at first, then agreed. Ru showed her the field and introduced her to Zabuton, but when Tia saw Zabuton, she fainted from fear. After waking up, Hiraku showed her vegetables and fruits, and the rest of the day, they all spent harvesting the crops. After some time, Tia also started to help with farm work. She asked if they could grow more strawberries. Hiraku said it was possible, but even after making the field bigger, they would not be able to harvest everything on time. Tia said they would need more people, but Hiraku also said that even if they collected everything, maybe they could not finish so much food. When they passed near the doghouse, Hiraku saw that Kuro and Yuki's puppies also had puppies, and the dog family had grown more. He planned to make a big place for the dogs near the orchard. Because the number of new pups was so high, he still could not name them. At the same time, he saw that some of Zabuton's children were leaving, although some stayed. Then Tia said she would go away for some time, but promised to come back. A few days later, she really came back, and with her was a group of high elf girls. Their leader said her name was Leah, and the other girls' names were also like Leah because they were close relatives. Tia explained that their village in the north was destroyed after being pulled into a human war. Their race was scattered, and since then, they had been wandering looking for a new home. Ru also talked about the skills of high elves and supported keeping them. Hiraku agreed on the condition that they could live together with everyone already there. When the elves asked who else lived there with them, they were told about Zabuton and the infernal wolves, and as soon as they saw them, they also fainted from fear. Because all 7 elves wanted to live together, Hiraku decided to make a big house for them. The elves knew more about building, so they gave instructions for the work, and Hiraku mostly did digging, bringing wood, and cutting trees. In about 10 days, the house was finished. This elf house was much better than Hiraku's small hut. For a moment, Hiraku felt jealous, but then he thought this house should be comfortable and safe for everyone. Soon the elves got used to farm life. They harvested crops, tasted vegetables and fruits, and joined daily work. Hiraku was surprised to learn that elves also ate meat, used fire, and were not the soft tree-living creatures he had imagined in his last life. Leah told him that the forest should not be taken lightly because if someone tried to live like that, they could die quickly. The elves planned to start mining and blacksmithing, built a furnace, and then started to make metal pans and cooking pots. Hiraku was very happy to see these pots, and felt that civilization was moving forward in his village. Later, when the elves saw the wheat field, Hiraku told them that the wheat had been harvested and turned into flour. When the elves asked if they could make bread, and also showed yeast, Hiraku agreed right away. Then everyone made and ate bread together, and Hiraku thought that now the wheat field should also be made bigger. At this time, he suddenly realized that he did not know whose land he had built his village on. Ru explained that this forest had no personal owner, although technically it was under the control of the demon lord. In the evening, the women praised Hiraku for keeping inferno wolves and a demon spider with him and growing the best crops, but also noted that he knew very little about the world. But because Hiraku had made everything himself, the land should be counted as his. On the other hand, Hiraku sat in his hut, making a wooden cup, and remembered that he had not made progress on his waterway for a long time. In the next days, Zabuton showed Hiraku that it had caught a very big queen bee. Because Zabuton did not plan to eat it, and the bee was not aggressive, Hiraku decided to keep it. He made a small house for the queen bee and its worker bees so they could make a hive and produce honey. At this time, Tia saw everything from above while flying. showed curiosity, but stayed away because she was scared of the hive and apologized for not coming closer. Hiraku also thought that he would need to grow flowers for the honey. After that, Hiraku dug a big hole to use as a reservoir and told Leah that he wanted to pull water from the river to here. Leah asked about the progress of the waterway, and when she learned that the work was still at the starting stage, she advised to first decide the building material. Hiraku thought about stone, but Leah said getting stone would be hard. Then he thought about wood, but Leah said because of the long length, many pieces would need to be joined and water would leak. In the end, Hiraku decided to use soil and pressed it with the almighty farming tool until it became strong like concrete. The elves took care of the foundation work, while Hiraku focused on sealing and making the structure strong, and with everyone's help, the water supply was finished soon. During this water work, Hiraku also found fresh fish with the flowing water. Tia and Ru recognized them as very dangerous fish from the Forest of Death and stayed careful about eating them. First, they let Hiraku taste them, and when he said the fish was good, the others also ate. Later, everyone liked the fish. The elves also liked it, and Hiraku caught more fish and put salt on them to save them. Now that water was easily available, Hiraku decided to make a rice paddy. He dug a place and filled it with water, so the girls thought maybe he was making a pond and would keep fish in it. But Hiraku said no and asked them to help plant rice. The field grew fast, and when the crop was ready, Hiraku taught everyone how to cut and dry the rice. After drying, he used the almighty tool to make an old thresher, then made a sieve to separate leaves and other plant parts. After that, he used a mortar to remove the husk and a pestle to clean the rice. Ru and Tia saw this process and thought it was hard work and wondered about the benefit, but Hiraku said it was necessary. Then he cooked rice, made rice balls, and put the earlier fish inside them. The girls ate the rice balls with so much interest that very little was left for Hiraku. After long work, the girls cleaned themselves with magic, and Hiraku felt something missing because he could not do that. For this reason, he decided to make a bath. The girls said they could wash in the river, but Hiraku explained the benefits of a bath and also said it would be more useful in winter. The building work went well, but then Hiraku thought if it was right to put used water back in the river. Tia suggested using slimes and said they could eat waste and clean the water. She brought some harmless cleaner slimes, and Hiraku made a purification pool for them. Tia also suggested keeping slimes in the toilet, but Hiraku did not like this idea. While cutting wood, Hiraku found some logs with mushrooms growing on them. Because he did not know which were poisonous, he thought about growing edible mushrooms himself. He worked on the logs with the almighty tool and hoped to grow shiitake and shimeji. By evening, the bathhouse was ready, and Hiraku had to explain to the girls how to use it. He first showed how to clean the body in the washing area, but Leah said it would be easier if he showed it himself. Hiraku showed the way, then went into the bath and felt relaxed. The girls also came in the same order. Later, Hiraku said he wanted to use it separately, but the girls thought using it together was better, so the water did not need to be heated again. Because he was surrounded by them, Hiraku did not feel relaxed and thought about making a separate bath for men, but the girls said making a private bath only for Hiraku was not fair. The next day, Hiraku saw that edible mushrooms had really grown, so he decided to make a mushroom hot pot for the night. On the same day, the dogs brought 5 new high elf girls. During the introduction, Hiraku thought their names sounded like Leah and guessed they were relatives. Leah said she knew them and they all once lived in the same village. Tia explained that their village in the north was destroyed after being caught in a human war. Their race was scattered, and they were wandering looking for a new place. Ru also called high elves a talented race and supported keeping them. Hiraku made the condition that they live together with everyone else. When the new elves were told about the other residents and introduced to Zabuton and the Inferno Wolves, they fainted from fear and noticed that the number of women around Hiraku had increased again. He remembered his past when he lived alone in the forest and never lost a fight until he met Yuki, who defeated him. Later, when Yuki was pregnant, a grappler bear attacked them. They were badly hurt and could not hunt. In the end, they reached the center of the forest, where even the bear did not come, and there they found a lone human man. At first, Kuro thought Hiraku was a weak human, but then felt the great power of the almighty farming tool and thought their end was near. Because the elves wanted to live together, Hiraku decided to make a big house for all of them and added toilets and a garbage disposal area. The elves had more experience in building, so Hiraku mostly did the digging, bringing wood, and cutting trees as they instructed. After about 10 days, the house was finished. This house was much better than Hiraku's hut, and for a moment he felt jealous, but then he hoped it would be a comfortable. But instead, Hiraku gave them food, cared for them, gave them names, a place to live, and even raised their puppies. Kuro knew that Hiraku still did not understand that he was a dangerous Inferno Wolf, but for Kuro, this was not a problem, and he stayed thankful for meeting Hiraku. Hiraku's new house was finally finished, and the high elves gave him a full tour of the house and his room. When he saw the space inside, Hiraku was surprised because it was much bigger than he expected. He was very satisfied with the high elves' building skill. From this new house, he could also see a clear view of the village's big tree, which made the place feel even better. While showing the house, Hiraku reached a room with a bolt lock on it. When he looked inside, there was a bed for 2 people. Seeing this, he quickly closed the door and acted like he had not seen anything. After the house tour finished, Leah told him that if he did not like any part of the house, Hiraku placed statues of Kuro and Yuki outside the house. The next day, Hiraku decided to make a food he had not made for a long time, which was curry. He took the girls to a part of his field and showed them some plants that were new for them. He explained that some of these plants usually did not grow in snowy places, but because of the almighty farming tool, he could grow them here too. Then he started to collect spices for curry. First, he took cumin, then turmeric, and explained that curry's color came from this. After that, he took coriander and explained that its seeds had to be ground into powder. Then he took cilantro leaves, and the smell made the dogs move back. Seeing this, the girls thought maybe they should research why infernal wolves hated this plant. In the end, Hiraku also took black pepper and cayenne peppers. When he came back and was about to start cooking, only Leah was there. She said Rue and Tia were busy researching how to make a powerful protection talisman. After that, Hiraku and Leah started the preparation together. Hiraku heated the rapeseed oil they had pressed before and put rabbit meat in it. While the meat was cooking, he ground all the spices except cumin into powder. After the meat turned a light color, he took it out so it would not overcook. Then in the same pot, with the leftover juice and pieces, he cooked cumin. After that, he added diced onions, ginger, and garlic. Then he put in tomatoes and kept cooking until the mix became like a paste. At this stage, he added spices and a little salt, cooked a bit more, and then added the rabbit meat and boiled soybeans with water and let it simmer. While the curry was cooking, Hiraku suddenly realized he had forgotten something. Then he remembered he had to make naan. He explained that the recipe was like normal bread, but before rising, the dough had to be spread with a rolling pin. Leah helped him roll the dough. When the smell of curry spread, more people started to come there. When Hiraku finished the food, Rue and Tia also came back, and everyone sat down to eat. Hiraku showed them how to dip naan in curry to eat it. Everyone liked the food a lot and quickly took more. Hiraku hoped that some would be left for him. Rue and Tia wanted to give curry to the dogs too, but as soon as they smelled it, the dogs moved away. Because winter was coming, Hiraku started to prepare early. He collected a lot of firewood and asked Zabuton to make extra blankets before it went into hibernation because he knew Zabuton would go soon. He had Rue and Tia smoke and dry meat to save it, especially because in the snow, the infernal wolves would not be able to hunt much. Hiraku also worked on saving vegetables and made a 2-level box. His plan was to put vegetables in the top part and cover them with a blanket and snow, while the melting snow water would collect below and keep the vegetables dry. Seeing the girls use magic, Hiraku again felt that he could not do magic, and he admitted that he mostly just did gardening and cooking. Rue told him that actually he was special because living so long in the forest of death was not easy for anyone. After winter came, snow covered the outside and everyone spent more time inside the house. To pass the time, Hiraku decided to make board games, which included reversi, chess, and a mahjong set. He explained the rules of reversi and said that when the board was full, the person with more pieces of their color won. Rue thought the rules were easy, and maybe the game was simple, but Tia said there could be deep strategy in it. Hiraku praised Tia for noticing this, which made Rue angry, and she quickly challenged Tia. When the game started, Tia was clearly winning. At this time, Rue suddenly flipped the board and acted like it was an accident. She suggested starting again, but Tia used magic to put the board back exactly as before. Rue flipped the board again, and Tia fixed it again. Then Rue suggested a best-of-3 match, and Tia agreed. In another room, some elves were playing games calmly. When Hiraku went to see the others, he saw Kuro giving advice about a piece's move. Then he saw the other dogs playing chess, and was surprised that they not only understood the rules, but were really playing. Their style made him feel a lot of pressure, and he decided he should avoid playing against the dogs. Later, Rue decided to play against the dogs, because she thought she would not lose to them, but she lost. This time, she did not flip the table because Kuro was there. Then Hiraku played mahjong with Kuro, Tia, and Leia. He could not believe how fast Kuro understood the rules, but in the game, Hiraku lost badly and came last while Kuro won. To change his mood, Hiraku made a mini bowling set. When Rue asked why they had to knock down the pins, Hiraku got the idea to call them by the names of bad people. Every game Hiraku made became popular with everyone, and by playing like this, winter passed quickly. In a short time, spring came. One morning, Hiraku and the girls came outside and started talking about the day's work. But at that moment, Zabuton suddenly gave a danger signal. One morning, when Zabuton gave a danger signal, Hiraku saw a very big creature coming from the sky. At first, he thought it was a dragon, but Tia corrected him and said it was a wyvern. the wyvern attacked the village and threw fire. Ru and Tia used magic to protect themselves, while the fire spread to the fields and the elves quickly started to put it out. Hiraku understood that just running away would not solve the problem because the wyvern could chase them from the sky. He called the almighty farming tool, and this time, against his expectation, it appeared as a spear. Hiraku threw it at the wyvern. The wyvern made a 3-layer barrier, but the spear broke through the barrier and reached its wing, hurting it. Hiraku attacked again, and this time the spear hit its chest, killing the wyvern. After the wyvern fell, everyone worked together to put out the rest of the fire in the fields. The damage was not much, and most of the crops were safe. Hiraku asked if meeting a wyvern was normal, and Ru said it was a rare creature. Then she also thought maybe someone had sent it on purpose, but Tia said that even if that was true, such a valuable creature would not be sent alone. Hiraku took it as a coincidence and quickly started thinking about food. The girl said wyvern meat was high quality and valuable, so Hiraku made many dishes from it. Everyone liked the meat. Ru expected the meat to be tough, but she was surprised to see it was soft. During the meal, Ru also asked Tia if she could stop Hiraku's spear, and Tia admitted that if even the wyvern could not stop it, she could not either. On the other side, in the Demon Kingdom at the Demon Lord's castle, Beezle told the other top generals that a wyvern had been killed in only 2 attacks from the ground. Randon did not believe it, because when a wyvern came near their area, usually the whole army had to be mobilized. After hearing this, he decided that fighting such a strong enemy was not possible, and even talked about leaving his post before fear spread. At the same time, in the Gatekeeper Dragon's shelter, the blue dragon Drime asked Gucci if he had seen that fight, and Gucci confirmed it. When Drime guessed what would happen if he himself was hit by such a spear attack, Gucci said the spear would probably go right through him. After that, both agreed that attacking would not be a smart idea. Back in the village, Hiraku liked the wyvern meat a lot, but felt something was missing with the food, so he finally decided to make alcohol. He thought there must be wine in this world, so he chose the grape method. The girls were happy and quickly brought grapes. Hiraku prepared a place for juice making and got barrels ready. He told the girls to crush the grapes with their feet. At first, they thought this method was strange, but the elves suggested a song from their village so everyone could work in the same rhythm. While singing, everyone crushed grapes. Many barrels were filled with grape juice, and Hiraku decided to let natural fermentation happen with the yeast on the grape skins. At first, he thought maybe he made too much, but when the girl said it would finish soon, he started to think maybe the amount was too little. At the same time, the mysterious figure who sent Hiraku to this world was watching him. He was thinking if he could be forgiven after all this, but the mysterious figure of agriculture scolded him again. She was angry that he sent an innocent soul to the forest of death, and also gave him a copy of the Holy Land Scribe. She said if a normal human used it, it would take all their life force and kill them instantly. The mysterious figure explained that Hiraku used it as a farming tool and was given a very healthy body with strong recovery, but the mysterious figure called him careless, and as punishment ordered him to stand in the corner for 300 years. The next day, Zabuton gave a signal again, and the dogs and spiders had caught another girl. Ru immediately recognized her as her younger sister Flora. When she was brought to the village, Flora said she had heard that an angel was after Ru, and while following this clue, she came to the forest. Hiraku told her to stay and rest for a few days, and Flora agreed, although she thought it was strange that Hiraku was Ru's husband. Ru explained to Flora that Hiraku was the master of inferno wolves and had also killed a wyvern, so Flora quickly apologized for underestimating him. At this time, Hiraku realized that Kuro was not a normal dog, but a wolf, and when he was surprised about the inferno part, Kuro showed fire. Hiraku was impressed, while Ru and Tia were surprised that he did not know this before. Hiraku made food for Flora, and Flora liked it. Then Hiraku said he wanted to make miso and soy sauce. Flora did not know about these things, so Hiraku explained that they were made from fermented soybeans. Flora asked about fermentation, so Hiraku explained with examples like cheese and wine. After hearing about microorganisms, Flora found a new research topic and became very interested. A few days later, Flora left, but about a month later she returned to stay for good and brought a big group of maids with her. Their leader Anne told Hiraku that he could use all of them for work as he needed. With Flora's group, 2 cows also came, and Hiraku was very happy to see them because now it was possible to make butter and cheese. When Tia saw that vampires, elves, wolves, and spiders all had big groups, she realized she was the only one alone. She also left for some time and soon came back with her own group. With her were 3 angels, Gran Maria, Kudel, and Koro, and also lizardmen led by Daga and a chicken. Hiraku felt relief to see that at least the chicken was a normal chicken. Flora's maids, who were ogres, made housework go much faster after coming. They did not make complicated food, so Hiraku taught them how to cook, and they learned quickly. Tia's angels were put on forest patrol to protect the village after the wyvern attack, while the lizardmen took on heavy outside work, which made building work go faster. Hiraku tied a scarf on Daga's arm because he could not tell the lizardmen apart. As the population kept growing, later Leah also brought another big group of elves from the forest forest. Hiraku saw that all were female, so he asked about the men. Leah said the men did not survive, then also said she planned to make many more in the future. Hiraku showed happiness at this and avoided asking about the way. A few days later, Hiraku gathered all the representatives to name the village. Ru suggested naming the village after Hiraku, but he did not like it, and suggested naming it after the forest, but Forest of Death sounded too scary. At that time, Zabuton pointed to the door. Hiraku opened the door, saw the big tree, and decided to name the village Great Tree Village, or Teju Village. In the evening, he told everyone the name and announced a celebration. Everyone started calling him mayor. Hiraku said this decision would be made together later, but even so, the villagers celebrated with the first finished wine. Hiraku was accepted as the mayor of Great Tree Village, but his daily work did not change much, and he kept working in the village like before. One day, an angel came and told him that a messenger from the demon army had arrived. The person who came was Bezel, who asked about the person in charge, so Hiraku stepped forward and introduced himself. Bezel gave him a gift and said the demon lord wanted to talk about the village. Hearing this, Hiraku remembered that this land was under the demon lord's control, so he thought maybe they came to ask for tax, or wanted to make them leave. Hiraku made it clear that if they were allowed to stay, they would pay tax. He suggested that 10% of the field crops could be given as tax. He also said that milk, eggs, honey, and alcohol would not be included, but these things could be traded separately. He also suggested that the tax be collected every year before winter. Bezel agreed to this idea. A formal agreement was made between them, and Hiraku also gave a gift in return. After Bezel left, the village women praised Hiraku and said that usually tax was 50 to 60%, so 10% was a very good deal. They also said that with this agreement, Great Tree Village would get the demon lord's protection. On the other side, Ru was especially interested in the medicine that Bezel brought as a gift. Back at the Demon Palace, Bezel gave his report to the other top generals. They were all surprised that a village that could defeat a wyvern agreed to pay tax. Bezel said he had no better choice than to accept, because in that village there were Ru, Tia, High Elves, Infernal Wolves, and Strong Angels. According to him, it was better to make a deal than to make enemies with them. When they saw the gift from Hiraku, they found that its cloth wrapping was made from a great demon spider, which made them even more certain about the village's strength. The next day, Drine came to the village. His servant first gave a gift, and said that Drime's lair was in the south, so in a way, he was a neighbor. Hiraku invited them inside, but Drime was too big in his real body, so he changed into human form. After eating and drinking in the village, Druma liked the wine very much and said he wanted to live there, but his servant took him back. After these meetings, Hiraku felt that the welcome for guests should be better, so he decided to make a guest house. At first, he talked about making a house for 4 people, but the girls said it should be for about 30 people. Together, they also improved the visitor system, and Hiraku gave Zabuton a bell to tell when someone came. Not long after, Garf and some beastmen from Howling Village came to the village and said they wanted to make a relationship with Great Tree Village. Ru welcomed them, but quickly asked if only these people had come. When Garf said yes, Ru warned that if anyone else was hiding, they would be treated as enemies. At that moment, the Infernal Wolves dragged out the hidden members of Garf's group, and Garf apologized. One of them explained that they were hiding as backup, so if something happened, they could go back and report. Because they hid people and did not bring any gift, the village women refused to treat them like normal guests. They were kept in the guest house under watch, and the girls were against giving them special food or alcohol, although Hiraku at least gave them some alcohol. During the meal, Hiraku asked how they learned about the village. Garf said they got this information from the Demon Lord's people. He also said that Howling Village survived on hunting and mining, and they used to trade with human villages, but because of problems there, trade became unstable, so they came looking for a new partner. The next day, Garf said he wanted to trade, but pointed out the problem that bringing goods to Great Tree Village was hard, so he asked if people from Hiraku's side could come to their village. Hiraku suggested pulling a cart through the forest with wolves. Garf showed silverware, glassworks, and metalworks from his side and asked for food in return. Hiraku agreed to this. When leaving, Garf apologized for not bringing a gift because there was no such custom in their village, but promised to bring one next time. Hiraku answered that the price of the gift was not important. The real thing was the intention. Later, Great Tree Village prepared for its first trade. The girls did not let Hiraku go, so Tia went with some lizardmen. Drime offered to take them quickly in exchange for a barrel of wine. A few days later, Tia returned with Drime. She said the beastmen were first surprised and a bit nervous to see a dragon, but when they got free samples, they liked the goods goods and traded everything. Drime complained that the wine meant for him was also traded. After that, Tia said the mayor of Howling Village had asked if some people from their village could come and live here. Hiraku said more workers would be useful. But when Tia said they were 20 young women, Hiraku became worried because most of the population was already women, and he started thinking about the future of the village. He agreed on one condition, that at least 2 young men should also be sent. Soon, a group of female beastmen came, and Sina introduced herself. She nervously said they were ready to work as needed, but their request was not to be thrown out. Hiraku assured them to take their time, get used to the place, and later tell what kind of house they wanted. He also made it clear they did not need to worry about being kicked out. Then when he asked about the men he had mentioned, Sena said they had brought 3 young boys, and they started to mix with the villagers. At this time, could not use magic yet, so he could learn with them. But Hiraku knew that with time, even those children would easily leave him behind. So Hiraku promised to give him more wine at dinner. Hiraku was first surprised, then thought that in 5 or 10 years, these boys could help the village's future. At first, the beastmen thought they would be treated badly in the village, but when that did not happen, they quickly started to get used to life there. They still stayed careful around Zabuton and the Inferno Wolves, but slowly their nervousness went down. Hiraku noticed that Sena could use magic, and he again felt that maybe almost everyone except him knew magic. When he saw the villagers, animals, and even slimes using magic, he felt hopeless. Sina tried to comfort him and said that even the beastmen children. One day, Hiraku was harvesting apples when there was a loud sound nearby and the ground shook. Gran Maria quickly came and said that in the north part of the forest, a graveler bear and a bloody viper were fighting each other. As soon as Hiraku heard this, he first thought about whether the bear's meat could be eaten, then told Gran Maria to take him there. When they reached near the monsters, Gran Maria suggested going back and making a plan, but Hiraku told her to put him down. As soon as she moved away, Hiraku attacked and finished both monsters in one hit. The killer angels saw this and were surprised because for them, dropping such monsters in one strike was not normal, and they thought Hiraku's power was special. Later, Hiraku cooked the bear meat with wine and made wine-braised grappler bear, but he thought its taste was too gamey. The girls were surprised that he used his valuable wine in food, but Hiraku explained that using wine in cooking was normal. Then he fried the viper and liked it more because for him, its taste was like fried chicken. After finding out the viper tasted like chicken, Hiraku thought about trying something else with it. He went to Flora and asked for something that could kill microorganisms and prevent stomach pain or sickness. Flora first gave him a potion that could destroy everything, so Hiraku asked for a lighter thing, and then got a second potion. Hiraku also asked Flora about the progress on making miso. Flora admitted there was no progress. She had followed the instructions Hiraku gave her, but did not see any fermentation, and she had blown up her hut 3 times with that kind of potion. Hiraku told her to try again. The next day, he took chicken eggs, mixed in salt and vinegar, then added oil and made mayonnaise, which tasted good with fried viper. After that, he and Flora started to make miso. They cooked soaked soybeans until soft, then mashed them, and Hiraku used the almighty tool to add koji mold. Then they made balls from the mix, put them in barrels, and left them for a few months. After some time, Rue told Hiraku that guests had arrived. The guests were elder dwarves led by Donovan. They had heard that good quality alcohol was made here and they wanted to get it. The girl said alcohol could not be given for free. Donovan admitted they had no money, but he offered technology in return. He said he had worked on alcohol production all his life and could help make better alcohol from the village's crops. Hearing this, the girls agreed right away. The dwarves showed the distillation method and made corn whiskey. Hiraku tasted it and was surprised because it was like real whiskey, although very strong. In the end, Donovan and his group stayed in the village and became the brewers. Later, a celebration was held in the village to welcome the beastmen and dwarves. Everyone ate, drank, and celebrated together, and Hiraku felt that finally there were some men in the village. During the event, he asked Donovan if he was interested in any girl. Donovan said the girls were beautiful, but for him, they were too young, and anyone who could not grow a beard was not his type. Hearing this, Hiraku had no real answer. One day, Hiraku saw a dragon coming toward the village. Its style was not calm, so Hiraku got ready to fight. At that moment, Drime appeared and stopped the dragon. During the tension between the 2 dragons, a 3rd dragon appeared who looked even more dangerous. Hiraku quickly threw a spear, but the dragon dodged at the last moment. Hiraku was about to attack again when Gucci stopped him and said they were not enemies. Then the dragons came down and changed into human forms. Gucci introduced them as Drime's wife Grafaloon and daughter Lasty. Because Drime kept coming secretly to the village, taking things from the treasury and returning in the morning, his wife and daughter became suspicious that he had a secret relationship. Hiraku had already made a house in the village for Drime, so he would not go back drunk, but now he thought this was not a good decision. Drime tried to show his visits as political, but the women did not accept this. After the misunderstanding was cleared, Hiraku apologized for attacking, but Drime also made his family apologize. Lasty apologized for almost causing damage to the village, and Grafalun also apologized from her side. After the matter ended, Hiraku left them to talk. Then Drime told them how dangerous the village really was, and Grafalun also admitted that she had to dodge Hiraku's attack, and Zabuton moved her away at the last moment. After that, she told Lasty to stay in the village so that this power would never be used against dragons. Hiraku allowed Lasty to stay, but Lasty was very strong and broke things while working. The wolves, chickens, and cows were also scared of her dragon aura, so Hiraku started thinking about what work to give her. Tia said dragons were not just strong, but also smart and knowledgeable, so Hiraku gave Lasty the job of diplomatic relations. When Beezle came again, he was surprised to see the dragon girl. Lasty asked him why he came, and Beezle nervously asked for more fruit. Lasty suggested strawberries, apples, pears, persimmons, and watermelons, and Beezle quickly agreed to take everything. When Beezle went back and reported that now there was a dragon in the village, the demon side decided to send a spy. Beezle called his daughter Flowerm and gave her the job of checking the village's military power. When Flowerm reached the village, Lasty welcomed her and showed her around. When Lasty went to meet the messenger from Howling Village for a while, Flowerm walked around the village alone and saw different races and strong fighters everywhere. She also saw Hiraku, but ignored him thinking he was a normal human. Later, Lasty told her that Hiraku was the mayor, and so strong he could even beat her mother. Hearing this, Flowerm was shocked, realized she had been rude to him, and started to worry. Hiraku heard that Flowerm, Beezle's daughter, would stay there for some time, and he also noticed that Flowerm was relaxed with Lasty, but became stiff and unnatural as soon as she saw Hiraku. The number of slimes in Great Tree Village started to grow, and now they appeared in different colors. At first, nobody paid much attention, but one purple slime drank a whole barrel of alcohol. The girls got angry about this. They held a formal trial, found it guilty, and were ready to punish it. At this time, Flowerm explained that a slime was not a thinking creature, so even if they punished it, it would not understand. The girls agreed this was true, and because it was just one slime, they let it go. With time, a red slime started to come to parties and joined everyone during feasts. Then autumn came, and Hiraku was eating hot pot with everyone. During the meal, he said that if they had seafood, the hot pot would be even better. The girls asked about seafood, so Hiraku talked about cod, crabs, monkfish, and kombu seaweed. Tia was surprised about eating crabs because they were hard, and the others were also careful because in their world, fish were often dangerous monsters. Flowerm said that in the Demon Kingdom, there was a harbor city called Shashado, and by going south from the village, they could reach there. Lasty decided to fly there, and Flowerm went with her because she knew a merchant there. 3 days later, Lasty and Flowerm came back, and with them was Michael, a merchant from Shashado. Earlier, in Michael's office, one of his men said some unregistered guests wanted to meet him. Michael was first going to send them back, but he felt if he did that, he would regret it later. When he met them, he was surprised to see Flowerm, and even more surprised to learn the other girl was Lasty. Then when they showed their goods, he saw Hiraku's fruit, including the apples that were talked about a lot in the Demon Kingdom. Michael quickly understood these things were very valuable. He took the risk, agreed to find the requested goods, and decided to go himself. But when he learned the destination was Great Tree Village in the Forest of Death, he became uneasy. After reaching the village, Michael introduced himself to Hiraku and showed the fish he brought. He also said that the kombu Hiraku asked for was usually thrown away by fishermen, but he told his men to collect it especially. Michael gave 3 reasons for coming. The first reason was to formally meet Hiraku and thank him for choosing to do business. The second reason was to suggest more trade opportunities. The third reason was that he wanted to become the village's official government purveyor, meaning all outside trade would go through him. He showed a list of his company's products, and everyone discussed the idea. In the evening before leaving, Michael said he wanted to talk about alcohol in the future, but Lasty strongly refused. Michael quickly stepped back. When Lasty took him back, Michael looked at the village and felt maybe he had made the best deal of his life, but he also doubted if he could handle visiting this place again and again. Later, Hiraku made seafood hot pot, and everyone liked it a lot. Sometime later, another dragon came near the village. Hiraku first thought maybe it was related to Drime, but when the dragon attacked and acted like he was weak, Hiraku became serious and threw a spear. At first, the attack looked like it missed, but he threw a second spear and brought down the dragon. When he went closer, the dragon changed into a young woman and said she wanted to surrender. Then Drime arrived and said she was Hakuren, his older sister. Hakuren said the reason for the problem was Drime, because when he was drunk, he said that one day, Lasty could be given as a bride to the village mayor. Drime tried to avoid the subject and said if he said anything, it was because he was drunk, but Hakuren admitted she really came to see what kind of person Hiraku was, and also wanted to test his strength. Hiraku said he did not mind the test, but because Hakuren caused damage in the village, she should first clean and repair it. Hakuren repaired the damage damage, then was accepted into the village and ate dinner with everyone. She quickly became part of the village life, then suggested playing mahjong, but made the rule that something had to be at stake in the game. Dream asked what Hiraku would bet. Hiraku said he did not have anything special to bet, so she suggested a punishment game of strip mahjong. Hakuren, Dream, and Lasty agreed right away because they did not like to lose in a match. When the game started, Hiraku quickly reached his last close. He suspected the dragons were cheating, but could not prove it. When he thought he could turn the game around, he still lost and had to take off more clothes. On the demon general's side, they heard that Hakuren was also seen in Great Tree Village. This made them even more worried, because now they thought the village might have enough power to rule the whole kingdom. Glatz talked about raising funds and increasing military preparation, while Demon Lord Galgardo was worried about something else, and wondered why his daughter was angry and not talking to him since morning. Randon, seeing no hope of winning again, decided to run away. In the village, Hakuren decided to stay. She showed skill in almost every job, although she complained about every job too. In the end, she was made the teacher for the children and took on the job of teaching reading, writing, and math. One day, a group of Lamia girls led by Junya came with gifts and asked Hiraku to spare their lives. Hiraku did not understand, so the Lamias explained that in the forest, younger wolves and spiders had tried to clear a dungeon, which made them leave their homes. Hiraku apologized for this and offered them trade. It was decided that the Lamias would bring mine gems, and the village would give them crops and fruits. Hiraku said if this trade continued, he would be happy, and Junya agreed. In the Demon Kingdom, some girls convinced Princess Yuri that something bad was being planned in Hiraku's village. Flora was being held hostage, and Forum was also in danger. At the same time, Hiraku also said that when they came to the village, they should wear some clothes because they came without covering their upper bodies. After that, the Lamias started a delivery service and began to regularly bring and take trade goods for Great Tree Village. Because of this, Yuri decided to start a military campaign against the village and save both of them. Before the attack, Bezel met Flaurum and told her that Yuri had been pushed in this direction by three noble girls, Rosalind, Clacasset, and Roge, and their target was Hiraku's village. Flaurum thought these three were very unserious and was surprised that they were attacking even after all her detailed reports. Bezel explained that the reports about the village's power sounded so unusual that people thought they were exaggeration, not reality. He also said that if Flaurum tried to stop them directly, they would see her as a traitor. Because the attack was the next day, Flaurum understood that she had to show the village's power without moving the village itself. When the demon army of 300 soldiers moved forward, Flaurum sent the Lamia girls led by Junya in front of them, and the soldiers surrendered very easily. After that, Rosalind, Clacasset, and Roge were brought to the village. Flaurum told Hiraku that these three would now work in the village and stay under her watch, and if they tried to harm the village, Hiraku could decide their punishment. Hiraku then asked about the fourth girl sitting on a throne-like seat, so Flaurum said she was only there to observe for a while. After Hiraku left, Flaurum told the girls that if they worked honestly, their mistake would be forgiven, and they had to hide their real identity. Princess Yuri would also be treated as a normal person. After that, Flaurum showed them around the village. Yuri was impressed to see the fields, watermills, and peaceful management of the village, while the three noble girls kept complaining that living in such a far and lonely place was not right. At night, they tried to escape, but the infernal wolves and spiders blocked every way, so they failed and then decided to behave properly. Because of fear of punishment, all three started to help Flaurum with paperwork and slowly became known as the Town Hall Girls. After seeing the peaceful and organized life of the village, Yuri felt sorry that she wanted to bring war to this place. Flora asked why the Demon Lord did not stop her, so Yuri said she got news that Flora was a hostage and was worried because they were childhood friends. Flaurum also realized she was part of the misunderstanding, so she agreed to give Yuri regular information in the future. Later, Yuri joined farm work and made the three girls work with her. She worked in the fields with the Beastmen boys and felt good about the hard work, while the other girls kept almost revealing her real status in their talk, but had to stop themselves. When it was time for Yuri and the girls to go back, the three decided to stay. On the surface, they said they had more work and needed to learn more, but in reality, they became used to the baths, food, and life without political pressure. When Yuri went back, she had more respect for Hiraku and his village. After Yuri returned, Demon Lord Galgardo complained to Bezel that she now looked more serious and mature and was always busy with something. Bezel said she became interested in politics and diplomacy, and daughters grow up before parents notice. Galgardo, hearing this, quickly thought maybe she met a man and angrily thought about killing him, but Bezel warned that this attitude would one day push his daughter away. Not long after, harvest started in Great Tree Village village before winter, but the crops were so much that there was not enough storage. Lasti suggested sending some extra crops to her father, and Hiraku agreed. Hakuren also said some could be sent to her parents. Lasti took the crops and stopped at Shishido City on the way. There, Michael Goron asked her to take care of a monster attacking trade ships, and Lasti happily did the job. On the other side, Hakuren also took crops, and on the way back, met a group that wanted to move to the village. The leader of this group was Ya. Hiraku first thought they were dark elves, but Ya said they were mountain elves and were facing hard times because of food shortage in the mountains. Hiraku thought for a while, so Ya thought maybe he would refuse, so she apologized and said they would leave if it was a problem. Hiraku explained he was not refusing, but only thinking about where to arrange for them to stay until new houses were built. He decided to give them a place in the village, which made Ya very happy. Ya said they were great hunters and could get their own food, but when they tried, the monsters in the forest turned out to be too strong for them. Hiraku told him not to worry about this. Later, Ya saw Hiraku trying to make pottery, but he was not successful. When Hiraku said he needed clay, Ya offered to help. She said she understood the land and could get it easily while avoiding monsters. She brought clay and also made pottery, which made Hiraku very happy. Sometime later, Hiraku got news that another dungeon was found, and because the girls wanted to know what was inside, a survey team was sent. At this time, Hiraku finally finished the male bath and was using it. Outside, Flowerem caught Rosalind, Klakase, and Raj and asked them honestly why they came there. They admitted they wanted to get close to Hiraku by offering to massage his back. Flowerem scolded them and said they were low-rank members in the village and could not secretly move up like that. Soon the survey party came back and reported that there was a blood viper inside the dungeon and a separate party should be sent to finish it. The elves strongly said they needed the meat no matter what because the survival of their clan depended on it. Ya explained that blood viper meat was considered very valuable, increased body strength, improved husband and wife relations, and was believed to help with children. When Hiraku understood why the girls were so obsessed with this meat, he tried to calm everyone and said this matter should be discussed with the whole village. When winter came, Hiraku went to Ru because she was feeling sick. When Ru told her symptoms, Senna asked if she had wanted to eat sour things recently. Ru said her hunger was low, but she could eat tomatillos and fruit. At this, Sina said a woman in her village had the same symptoms. When Hiraku asked what happened to her, Sina said everyone congratulated her for having a baby. Ru's pregnancy was going well, but because of it, she could not change her form. On the other side, the maids insisted on waking up before Hiraku every day, so Hiraku started to get up a bit late on purpose so they could get more rest too. The population of the village had grown a lot, so breakfast was divided into 3 groups. Hiraku ate with the first group, and during that time, Gran Maria reported that 3 killer rabbits tried to get into the farm, but Kuro and the other wolves finished them. Everyone noted that rabbits coming again and again was also useful because it meant a steady supply of meat. Hiraku again saw that the angels were very serious and regular during duty, but as soon as duty ended, they became lazy and left things like cooking and washing clothes for others. After breakfast, Hiraku went out for his daily work. He saw bugs hurting the plants in the fields and used the almighty farming tool to get rid of them. After some time, he took a break for lunch. Lunch was not a common habit before, so it took people some time to get used to it. The elves were not used to breakfast at first and hesitated to eat in the morning. The beastmen were also not used to eating every day and at first thought maybe they were being fed well for a short time and would be thrown out later. Hiraku's regular meal system slowly gave everyone comfort and happiness. After lunch, Hiraku went back to work. Even though many jobs became easier because of the bigger population, making new fields and planting new crops were still mostly jobs that only Hiraku could do well because of the almighty tool. He also planted flowers to add color to the village. Besides farm work, he used the tool to make different things for the villagers, like toys for children and wooden swords for training. He gave thanks in his heart to the mysterious figure for giving him this tool. Sometimes, Hiraku joined military training. He thought the village did not really need it, but the maids insisted, and for them, the training was also a kind of exercise so they could stay fit and wear their maid dresses. Hiraku tried to join too, but he was not good with weapons other than the almighty farming tool. By evening, his work finished and he came inside for dinner. The maid served him a new dish and said they were only about 20% sure it would taste good. Hiraku said only to serve a dish if they were at least 50% confident, but the maid refused because they did not want to waste food. When Hiraku tasted it, he found it too sweet, but Lasti and Hakuren liked the dish. During the meal, Florim gave Hiraku a letter from Yuri. In the letter, Yuri said she wanted to eat apples again and also asked for a dress. Florim explained that Yuri liked the clothes made by Zabuton and wanted to know if Zabuton could make more for her. Hiraku agreed and said he was sure Zabuton would not mind. After some rest, Hiraku went to bathe and finally used the men's bath in peace. Even so, after the bath, he felt uneasy because he saw the elves following him. Even after coming back to his room, he felt their presence, so he used a trick and made them come out in front of him. Then he again gave thanks to the mysterious figure for giving him such a good life and went to sleep. On the other side, the dwarves spent most of their time making alcohol. Hiraku first thought they would be drunk all the time, but they turned out to be serious about their work and did not drink while working. Donovan told Hiraku that for better brewing, grape production would have to be tripled. Hiraku agreed to this request and started thinking about making the fields bigger. At this time, Sina came running and told Hiraku that a strange man was in the village. When Hiraku went to see, the man was bowing in front of the wooden mysterious figure statues Hiraku made. Hiraku was surprised and wondered how this man got in without being noticed by Zabuton, the angels, or the others. Rue quickly recognized him and said he was Vargreif, the progenitor of vampires. Vargreif was happy to see Rue and said that when he heard Rue was pregnant, he did not believe it at first, but now it seemed true. He said vampires usually continued their race through blood packs, so pregnancy was very rare, and children were like treasure for them. He told Rue to take special care of her pregnancy. When Hiraku asked about Vargreif, Rue said he could think of him as the elder of her family. Vargreif said he was 4,000 years old, and the secret to such a long life was that from time to time, he erased most of his memory, keeping only important things like his name and clan. He apologized for coming to the village without notice and said he only wanted to see and go back, but the statue under the big tree stopped him because he thought it was a very good shape of the creator. He also said that at his birth, he met his mysterious figure and was told to live a full life despite his strange body. Hiraku thought this meant being a vampire, and Vargreif agreed. Vargreif wanted to take the statue, but Hiraku said the statue belonged to the village and could not be given. However, he offered to make a new statue for him. Hiraku made a new statue, which made Vargreif very happy, and he asked the price, but Hiraku refused to take any payment. After leaving the village, Vargreif went to a big temple. The head priest welcomed him and said it had been 50 years since his last visit. Vargreif said he wanted to install a statue and asked for the best place. The priest showed him the place of the creator, mysterious figure statue, made by master sculptor Toro, but Vargreif said he wanted to remove it and put his own statue in the new place. The priest was impressed by the new statue's work and wanted to show the sculptor's name with respect, but Vargreif said not to do that because Hiraku did not seem like a person who wanted such fame, and he did not want to disturb his peaceful life. Instead, he said to help quietly and tell other temples to show respect for Tiju village. Later, Vargreif sent a grand piano to Hiraku to celebrate Rue's pregnancy. Hiraku did not want to accept it as payment, but Vargreif made it clear it was a gift. Hiraku put the piano in the dining hall. The 3 town hall girls recognized it and said it was the same kind of piano used in big temples for important events, so they were scared to play it in case it got damaged. They asked Hiraku to bring a separate piano for practice. Hiraku did not understand why they would not use the current piano, but still ordered a practice piano from Michael Gorun. In a short time, many girls started learning piano, but Hiraku faced a new problem because they kept playing at night and it started to disturb his sleep. Hiraku announced the lunch break, but kept working in the field himself. After some time, Rue came to stop him and said he should come to lunch with everyone. Hiraku worried that she should not move too much in this state, but Rue said she was fine and was told that some movement was necessary. Because the weather was hot, the villagers took special care of her. Tia and the angels also brought things to keep her cool so she would feel less heat. All the girls treated Rue with kindness and attention. Rue told them she was mostly fine, but not being able to drink alcohol because of pregnancy was hard for her. Because of this problem, the 3 killer angels asked Hiraku to sell all the alcohol in the village. Then Hiraku learned that all the girls in the village had stopped drinking alcohol to support Rue. But because not drinking was putting pressure on everyone, they thought if the alcohol was removed, the temptation would go away. Hiraku did not agree with this idea. He explained that alcohol was not something that could be made again quickly, so selling everything could be a problem later. Instead, he said it should be kept safe and reminded them that with time, its taste would get better. Everyone thought this was a good idea, and the plan to sell the alcohol was dropped. Later, Donovan and the other dwarves asked Hiraku if they had made some mistake, because now nobody wanted to drink alcohol. Hiraku explained to them that this decision was because everyone was supporting Rue. Donovan was satisfied and even happy to hear this. He said instead of making less, they should make more, because later, everyone would drink more. Hiraku agreed and said maybe later, everyone would use more alcohol to make up for the short break. The dwarves were impressed that the villagers stopped drinking just for Rue and went back to brewing with more motivation. Time passed and Rue's pregnancy went well. When the birth time came closer, the villagers started to bring gifts for her. Some brought clothes, some brought daily use things, and slowly so many people came that there was a pile of gifts around Rue and Hiraku. In the evening, while they were looking at the gifts, Rue suddenly felt a change in her condition and said the time had come. The village quickly started preparations. Hot water and towels were arranged, and at night the birth process started. Hiraku could not bear the waiting, so he left and spent the night outside near the old tree hole where he lived in his first days in this world. In the morning, Hiraku came back and saw his child for the first time. Rue had safely given birth to a healthy baby boy. Hiraku held his son in his arms and was deeply moved that he was now a father. Later, the child was named Alfred, and a week passed. During this time, Hiraku kept looking at Alfred and wondered if he was half vampire, because right now he looked like a human. He remembered his old lonely life when he was alone, and then looked at his current state where he had a family and a whole village. He was truly thankful to the mysterious figures and all the people who helped during Rue's pregnancy. To thank the villagers for their kindness and to solve the growing management problem of the village, Hiraku gathered everyone and talked about starting a new system. He showed silver reward medals and said they could be used in exchange for things they wanted. Tia understood right away that this was a money system, and Hiraku confirmed it. Until now, people brought things to Hiraku, and whoever needed something asked him directly. But after the population grew, he could not handle every exchange himself. Some villagers asked why they could not just keep trading things directly, so Hiraku explained that the value of one thing was different for different people, so a currency system was becoming necessary. Hiraku said that suddenly bringing a full money system would be confusing, so at first it would start as reward medals. He gave 3 coins to each person, while the wolves and spiders got 30 medals per group instead of each one because their numbers were too high. Some people spent their medals right away, while some saved them and did not use them. Soon, Hiraku started to get many special orders for furniture, toys, and other things, and he realized that instead of less work, maybe he now had more. Even so, he saw that the village system was running better than before. Not long after, a big celebration was held for Alfred's birth, and after a long break, everyone was allowed to drink alcohol again. Rue brought out the wooden hammer that Donovan had given her as a gift before, and the dwarves brought a very big barrel. Donovan said that for Alfred's birth, they made a new kind of wine, and this hammer was needed to open the barrel. Everyone was happy, but Rue said she still could not drink alcohol because she was breastfeeding Alfred. Even so, she was satisfied to see the others drink happily. Donovan suggested that some of the wine should be bottled and saved. Hiraku liked this idea and said it could be kept until Alfred was old enough to drink, then they would open it together. After that, the celebration became more lively, and everyone drank alcohol for Alfred's happiness after a long time. In the Demon Kingdom, Bizo reported that a child was born in Hiraku's village. The generals there had now accepted that it was not possible to defeat Great Tree Village by force, so they started thinking about ways to keep good relations. Glad suggested that someone from the kingdom should be connected to the village by marriage, but Demon Lord Galgardo misunderstood right away and thought it was about marrying Yuri, which he strongly opposed. Back in the village, Tia, Hakuren, and Flora told Hiraku that some people wanted to come there after running away from war. When Hiraku heard the number and learned there were more than 100 people, he understood there was not enough space in the current Great Tree Village. He said a separate village would have to be made for so many people. Rue agreed with this idea right away, and the other girls also supported it with excitement because it would let more people come. They also talked about the name for the new village and suggested a name like Great Tree Village. Hiraku said this would be a very big job, but when everyone was ready to work hard, he agreed too, and then everyone started to discuss where to begin building the next village.